Hey everyone, my name is David Rao, and I'm the music teacher who blogs at makemomentsmatter.org. You can also find my ideas on Facebook, on Instagram, on Patreon, on YouTube, a variety of places when you search my name, David Rao, or Make Moments Matter. Tonight, I'm talking about something I am very, very excited about, and that is K-pop. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what is K-pop, what you should know about K-pop, and things you should consider if you want to integrate K-pop into your classroom, and why maybe you should do that. That's coming up in a second. A couple quick things. If you are interested in any of the resources, the books, lesson plans, stuff that I talk about in these videos, there's a page on my blog dedicated to all the links and things. It's makemomentsmatter.org. If you click on the video tab, or wherever you're watching, listening to this, there should be a link at the bottom of the video that'll take you directly there. Just click the 2526 tab so you can get all the info from this year. Also, if you are interested, I'm doing some in-person workshops coming up in the next couple of weeks. The very first one is this weekend with the Greater Cincinnati Orff chapter. I'll be there this Saturday doing a workshop all about children's books and poetry and words and storytelling in your classroom. That's on September 13th. The following weekend, I'll be in Denver with the Rocky Mountain Orff chapter doing a workshop about critical thinking and Orff work. And then the next 2 weeks after that, on October 4th, I'll be with the New England Orff chapter in Boston doing a workshop about storytelling and children's lit and things like that. If you're interested in any of those things, go check out my blog, makemomentsmatter.org, click the About Me tab, and you can find all the workshops I'm doing this year. One that I'm really excited to share about is Texas Music Educators. I will be there in February. I'm excited to be doing a bunch of sessions over a couple days, sharing at TMEA this year. So if you're around, I hope you'll come and come to a couple of my sessions and say hi and tell me like where's the best place to eat in San Antonio. I'm super excited about coming back to TMEA for the first time in a long time. So super, super, super excited about that. Okay, well, if you are hearing everything from your kids about K-pop, Demon Hunters, the movie on Netflix, you might be thinking, how can I incorporate this to my classroom? Should I incorporate this in my classroom? And so today I want to give you like K-pop 101, talk a little bit about what is K-pop, why should you care about K-pop, and talk about the genre, not necessarily about the movie on Netflix. Why should you listen to me, some white dude living in Kansas City? Because I love K-pop. I have loved K-pop for years. I have been wanting to share about K-pop with students, other teachers, whatever, for so long. And I have. And most of the time I'm like, oh yeah, okay. But this is like the golden moment where like, oh my God, now I can like talk about it with kids and they're like excited about it. I have a bulletin board up in the hallway, which I linked on the links page if you're interested, all about K-pop. My kids are like, love it, so excited. So I'm wearing my BTS shirt, which this is all of the names of BTS in Hangul, in like the Korean alphabet. And I have my Sacha Boys sweatshirt, should I get cold. And I have my Jungkook t-shirt in case I need a change of clothes. You know, I don't know. Jungkook is a member of BTS because like you never know what you're going to need for a video like this. But I'm going to talk a little bit about what is K-pop, why should you be interested as a musician, what should interest you, some things you might decide to talk about with students, what you should know, things you should avoid. I'm going to talk about a little bit about that as we go. So if you have any questions, put those in the comments and I'll try and answer those, but I'm going to talk about just some ideas. So what is K-pop in general? K-pop is just Korean popular music. That's what K-pop stands for, right? And it's kind of interesting because it involves not just one genre. It's like in the United States, we talk about like country or like rock and roll or pop or whatever. And we talk about those as different genres. K-pop is a lot of different things, but like we would say maybe musically genre, but it's all, a lot of it is termed K-pop just because it comes from Korea. And it is popular. It's like part of that Korean wave or whatever. Whereas it's kind of like when people say, oh, that's classical music, and you're like, actually, that's jazz, or like that's classical music, actually, that's romantic, or what, you know, like we might classify it differently, but overall, we could just say, oh, yeah, that's K-pop, and it gives us a little bit more idea about what is that kind of music. So things you should know, K-pop blends a lot of different genres. So when you listen to it, you're going to hear Western pop, absolutely. You're also going to hear a lot of hip hop, a lot of EDM, R&B. You're going to hear a lot of blending of different cultures and ideas from around the world into one thing. K-pop is super performance driven. So it is, there's singing, there's dancing, there's synchronized dancing, there's singing, there's rapping. It is meant to be seen and heard and experienced. So it's not something where it's like, let's have like a listening party around a turntable, like maybe, but like it's so much more than that. There's so much visual storytelling. There's a huge part of it is the fashion that the K-pop idols wear. It's the colors, it's the sets, it's the theme, the ideas in the story, and the music video, and like all of these things together. It's like a, if you think of like Lady Gaga right now with Abracadabra and like all the things she's doing that are around this idea of this like theme. I think Lady Gaga is a great example if you know what she's doing right now. But K-pop is sort of the same way. And I think that you can compare, if you're like K-pop, but I don't really get it. It's kind of like Motown, like how Motown was in the 1960s. It's more than just the music. It's the style, it's the choreography, it's the youth culture, it's everything. So it's more than just the music. But let's talk about the music. What defines it musically? So a lot of global influences, I already mentioned that. It mixes pop and hip hop, EDM, dance ballads, sometimes jazz, sometimes rock, sometimes traditional Korean instruments, a lot of different things. If you're like, I won't understand it because it's just in Korean, that's not necessarily true. A lot of times it will be a blend of Korean and English. And sometimes it goes back and forth. A lot of times there are these like hooks that you're going to hear and you're going to be like, oh, I know that. I can sing that part. Maybe I can't sing the bridge or the rap line or whatever, but like I know the chorus. And so a lot of times I'll have those hooks. A lot of times that's in English, not always, but often. And there's usually a hook or some sort of thing that like draws you in, that helps you understand like this is that specific song. They do not use the same structure as Western pop. So a lot of times in Western pop, you'll hear like verse, chorus, verse, bridge, chorus. Ooh, innovative. No, but this has a lot of different structures to it. So there might be a verse, there might be a bridge, there might be an extended bridge, there might be a chorus, there might be a pre-chorus. I mean, like there are all these different things that happen. Almost always there is part that's sung, so like a more vocal thing. There's almost always a rap section because almost every group has like the vocalists and then like the rappers. Like it's a thing. A lot of times there's like a special section that's made, we might call it a dance break, but it's like a beat drop or something where it's like meant just for choreography and dance. And a lot of times there'll be like fake outs, or it'll like build up to something and like that beat will drop and land, and sometimes it won't. Like there are a lot of key changes and fake outs and layer upon layer upon layer that make it really musically interesting. Like for years I've been like, I love K-pop because it is so complex. As a musician, I am so interested in all of the layers and things about it. So I think that's super fun. Okay, the production style, it's super highly polished. There's so many different layers. There's sound effects, there's stacked vocals, there's synthetic beats, there's like all sorts of different things that make this so complex. In fact, vocal stacking is a thing. So multiple layers of the same thing sung by different members, or just like filling out the sound so it feels very like a really thick texture. A lot of times there's a place where they involve their fans. So like there's a fan chant, like a place where fans can insert their own like chant or thing that goes along with the song. That's a part of the creating. It makes it just feel like communal, and like the audience is a part of the creation. And then a lot of times these songs are written with the dance, with the choreography in mind, like they're written together. It's not like that like music is written and then there's choreography. A lot of times it's written with the ideas happening at the same time so that it feels very cohesive. And then they also have like time for instrumental dance breaks and thoughts like that. But the storytelling and the dance and the visuals, that's a huge part of what makes the genre specific. So what's unique about this is in Korea, in this K-pop system, there's this like trainee system where like if you want to be a K-pop performer, usually they're called idols. If you want to be a K-pop idol, you have to go through training. You have to be dance training, vocal training. You have to do, like all these things. Think of it like ballet, or people who train for a specific thing for years and years, or gymnastics or something like that, where you do all sorts of stuff that over time you develop the skills you need. That's what happens in these Korean trainee systems. And a lot of times before an idol is debuted or before a group debuts, they have all of this training and years in cultural training and language training just so that they can have a bigger impact when they become a group. So each group has their own set of fans that follow them, like a fandom, again, Lady Gaga, the Monsters or whatever. Like each performing group has like a very uh, serious following of people who love what they do. So like BTS, their group is called Army, right? Or Stray Kids, they're called the Strays. And so like, or this Days, sorry. And so I'm also, I know I'm going to say something wrong in my fervor and excitement for K-pop. So if you're a K-pop fan, you're like, you said that wrong, please, with all K-pop love, please leave that in the comments, but then also be like, I'm trying, okay, in a very quick moment to give as much as I can. And then K-pop groups are meant for a global reach. It's meant for more than just Korea. It's meant for Asia specifically, but then also Western culture. So like they make their music and their groups with the idea that it will cross borders. Like that's the plan. So you're going to recapping. It's a mashup of a lot of different things. Yes, Western music for sure, rap, EDM, classical instruments, sometimes all of it. It's super highly produced, catchy with big choruses, a lot of times switching between Korean and English. It's built with choreography in mind, so you're going to know that the dance breaks and things are happening there on purpose. And it's designed to be performed as much as it is listened to, which is why the performance aspect is such a big part of the culture. So does the music video. And then there's a lot of times groups will like put out their official music video and then an unofficial music video, and then they'll do a music video where it's just them practicing the dance, and then maybe a video of a live performance. Like you can look at multiple versions of songs, and all of those are meant to be sort of viewed and understood together. Okay, some vocabulary you should know. So an idol is like a performer, and that's just like what they're called is. So like a one of the main musicians, they're called idols. So like they're a rapper, a singer, a dancer, whatever. They're K-pop idols. So a trainee is someone who is learning to be a K-pop idol. They're in the training system. They have not yet debuted in a group. Okay, so a comeback, this is confusing. When a group releases new music, it doesn't mean that like they quit being a group and now they're coming back. No, that anytime there's like a new release, it's called a comeback. That's just like new album drops. It's their comeback. It's not, and oftentimes the comebacks will be very like they'll release an album and then the next year they'll have another EP or another full album, and so it's like it's not like, oh, they've been on a hiatus for 10 years and now they're coming back. No, comeback just means like they're debuting a new album. And then fandom is like the name of the group's like followers. So BTS are called Army, Blackpink, their fandom is called Blinks, Stray Kids are called Stays. So it's like the fandom. And then within each group, usually you develop like, oh my gosh, of these like 7 members, or whatever, or of these 13 members in this group, this one is my favorite. Those people are called your bias. So your bias is like who you like the most out of a group. And then the thing is like you might think you have a bias, and then after listening for a while, you find someone else, you're like, but I kind of like them better. That's called your bias wrecker. It's like a whole thing. Watch a TikTok on it. It's hilarious. Okay, so oh, and stan. Stan means like a stalker fan. Like that's actually what stan means. But I think of it as like a super fan. Usually the stalker, it's not really stalker. It's more just like a very, very dedicated fan. So you could say like, I'm a BTS stan. That means like you really love BTS. You really want to follow them. You can also use it as a verb, like I stan Blackpink, which means like I am a follower of Blackpink or whatever. It's another important word to know. Okay, some groups you might consider checking out. You've probably heard of BTS before. They're a super popular group, probably the most well-known K-pop group in the world. And they're coming out with a world tour next year. They're releasing more music. They've been on a slight break because all of them were in military service. That's another thing that's important to know about South Korea is like all eligible men have to serve in the military for like 2 or 3 years. And so all these idols are going through that. You oftentimes will see like army or military references in their music because that's such a big part of South Korean culture. But anyway, BTS is, they're done with their military service. They're going to really release new music. Blackpink is a girls group. You've probably heard some of their music, even if you didn't realize you did. It is very popular, not just their group specifically, but it's like backing tracks or TikTok music. You've probably heard some of their music before. They've done collaborations with a lot of groups, particularly like Selena Gomez recently, and so they're pretty well known. Another girl group is called Twice. They're a very well-known group, not as much as Blackpink, but really great. 17 is a group with not 17 members, they have 13 members. It's a whole thing, but that's another very large group. And then the thing about 17, since they have so many members, they usually they're like subgroups or subunits, and they release some of their own music within the 17 like umbrella. But it's like this group of 3, they release a couple songs. Again, it's a whole thing specific to the genre. Stray Kids is another group that's like kind of its own like it's not so much poppy, it's more grunge, it's more like I don't know how to explain, but it's like a different sort of subset of K-pop that's not as like stylized or pretty or whatever, but still very stylized and pretty. Stray Kids is a great group. And another one that's not very new, it's kind of new, is called New Jeans, and they're more of like a throwback to like Y2K. It's kind of hilarious, the things they wear and the music they do. That's a fun group. Okay, some things you should know. Not all the music is appropriate for elementary school. In fact, I would say a vast majority of the music is maybe not appropriate for elementary school, at least in the mainstream, like teaching in your classroom. You should absolutely preview anything you're going to show to students, and you should make sure that you check the Korean language translation. If there's music in like language with lyrics in Korean, you should know what that is in English before you show it to students. A lot of times the music will center around like love or romance or heartbreak or traction. A lot of times that happens, and you will probably see and hear that when you start looking into K-pop. But also there are some military references or things like that, or violence references. But again, the military is so much a part of South Korean culture, it makes sense in context. But it doesn't mean that I want to show a video with like guns or things to my students, so you got to be careful about that. Some choreography is a little bit more mature with like hip rolls or suggestive moves, or maybe midriff bearing clothing on men or women, it doesn't matter. So you want to make sure you know what you're showing the kids before you show the kids. And then sometimes there are the fashion choices, the dark themes, or the grown-up storylines. You want to watch the whole video before you show it to kids. Okay, so what are some lesson ideas if you wanted to incorporate some of this in your classroom, because kids are so excited about Demon Hunters right now? What could you do? You could definitely talk about some of the music and dance aspects, like some of the choreography. You could have kids take like a song like Dynamite by BTS, which is very, very famous and well known and has been in movies and all sorts of stuff. Kids know it. And you could have like maybe a traditional folk dance or a line dance that goes to that song. Or you could have kids create their own dance, again, based on folk dance or moves they've already learned. You could show them some of the dance or of Dynamite or another video and have them try and emulate or create if you want, but it's probably going to be kind of tricky. And also you need to think about like where's the balance between like I am respecting and emulating this culture, or I am stealing from this culture. Like K-pop Demon Hunters, probably you don't want to show that to kids and be like, this is K-pop, because like in a way it is, but also in a way it's kind of like a, not parody, but like a stylized version of what is this real thing. So I wouldn't present K-pop Demon Hunters as this is K-pop as a whole, because it's so diverse, but it could be like this is like a retelling of K-pop. Okay, you could play kids a song and say, what instruments do you hear? Or where's the beat? Can you find the steady beat? Or when does the chorus start? Or compare it to a more Western pop song. What's similar? What's different? If you want to talk about cultural connections, you can talk about, show South Korea, talk about South Korean culture and history and heritage. Talk about how K-pop idols learn multiple languages to reach people in all sorts of places in the world. So a lot of K-pop idols know Korean and Japanese and English, at least, if not other languages as well. You could talk about, Korean culture and history and holidays and fashion, sort of things like that. So some some more things to think about. Why is this important? Well, it is super relevant with kids right now. Not only is it like the #1 movie in the country, but like it's about a musical genre that kids don't know very well. Like, think back to that Pixar movie that was like all about jazz. That like, ooh, I was so excited to be like, oh my god, my kids are gonna love jazz. They did not come away loving jazz, but I mean, maybe. But like, this is a moment where like this is very specific about this genre, and my kids are really enjoying the music, right? So unlike Pixar's Soul, like they didn't come away like, let's all go to a jazz club, but they are asking about K-pop groups right now. So it would be a great time for you to say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you're excited about music. Let's talk about some groups that might be fun and explore. Um, okay, so your homework, not to show to students, but to watch yourself. On my links page, I put like 4 or 5 different videos that are not maybe the newest music from these groups, but like very well-known songs by a couple different groups. I have boy groups and girl groups up there, and just some different things that you can explore and learn yourself. There are some music videos, some like official music videos, and then there's some dance practice videos. Like that is absolutely a part of K-pop culture, to release like a video of them practicing the dance that they're going to do on stage. Like that is the thing that people watch and enjoy. So you can watch both things and see. Like I said, you should watch the video yourself, listen to the song yourself, and decide whether that's something you want to show to students or not. You might say no, but the videos I have up there are pretty well-known groups that are going to give you a sampling of like what are some of the dance moves, what are some of the themes, what are some of like the pretty easy songs to like get an understanding of like what is this sound. It's just for you to look at and consider. So that's on the links page if you're interested. Like I said, I did make that bulletin board about what is K-pop that is very easy to share with kids, and then that can give them a little bit of an overview if you're wanting to carry some of this into the classroom and like explore with them, talk with them. But it's like a touch point. So like while they're out in the hallway or going to lunch or whatever, they can see it and they can connect to it, even if you maybe don't do anything in the classroom, or if you do, it's like a great sort of segue jumping off point. But your homework for next week or whenever is to go onto the links page, check out those videos, and just like watch and like see what you think, see what you want. The very first one is BTS. It's Dynamite, the official music video. Look at the colors, look at the outfits, look at the style, look at the dancing. Like you're looking for those musical hooks. You're looking for that dance choreography that is meant to be copied, meant to turn into, TikTok like dance thing that people emulate. Like look for all that, see what you see, and then come back and then decide, what do I want to do in the classroom? How do I want to make that work? I hope this like K-pop 101 gave you some ideas and some thoughts about the genre and like gave you a few basics. I will just tell you that K-pop is a rabbit hole. You're going to go and think like, this is a kind of fun song. I'm going to watch the music video. And then you're like, oh, they did another video of that. Let me watch that. Oh, the dance practice video. Let me watch that. Oh, wow. Wait, what's this person's name? And it's when you start learning their names, that's when it gets you, because you're like, oh, okay, this is their names. Oh, wait, that's their stage name. That's not their real name. Okay, his name is not really Suga. Oh, it's actually Min Yoongi. Oh, actually, and Min is his surname. So Yoongi is actually like his like given name, is like first name. But like oh, that's so interesting. What are their other names? You start learning their names, and then you like learn their favorite foods. You start learning like when they were born. You like learn like how are they the oldest one in the group? They're the youngest one in the group. You start learning things, and then you're down the rabbit hole. And a couple years later, you're wearing a BTS shirt while you're doing a live video about K-pop. I'm just telling you, like you're gonna get hooked. So just plan on that. And I can't wait to hear all the feedback about like how much you love K-pop and like what's next for you. So if you want a few more videos about like how could you incorporate this in the classroom, like what else should you learn, please leave that feedback. I would love to talk more about K-pop, but just go into it, see what you see what you explore. I think that you're going to find some really fun things and some really cool things that you can share with students and connect with students about as the wave of even more K-pop sweeps the world. So I hope this was a fun video for you, that you got to hear a little bit more, learn a little bit more. I can't wait to share more, and I will see you all next week for more K-pop. Well, sorry, more elementary music content, maybe K-pop, who knows? Maybe we'll all be K-pop stands for forever and ever. But go do your homework, watch some videos, and then check back, leave some comments. What do you think? What do you feel? All right, have a great night, everyone.